All right, guys, it is time for my favorite segment of the show. Here we are with Fun with Fountain Pens.
Here's a house. Here's a door. Windows 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready to knock? Turn the lock.
10 school. I can't bring myself to change that intro. I just love it too much. Okay, guys, the pen I have for you today is a Jinhao 126, and I'm going to give it away to some lucky winner in the chat after I finished reviewing it. Now, I did not order this pen. They sent it to me accidentally from AliExpress. I ordered a different model, but they sent me this one. And then when I realized that they'd sent me the wrong one, I said to AliExpress, "Hey, you've sent me the wrong pen." And they said, "Bad luck, keep the pen." Well, that's okay. It's a pen that there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't appeal to me. I don't like metal pens, and I'm not particularly fond of pens that have a metal grip as this one does. And the reason for that is just personal preference. I prefer to have an instrument which is lighter and made of materials that are light, for instance, acrylics, and I don't mind natural materials like wood. Some people very much prefer a metal pen, and it is particularly common with women. Women often will have a metal pen. You'll see, ladies in the 1950s and the 1960s would always have a metal pen, and the reason was, really, there's two reasons. The first reason is because it's metal. For a lady who's keeping it in a purse with a bunch of other stuff, it doesn't scuff, it doesn't get scratched, or it does a little less often than a pen made from softer materials would. So there is that appeal. There is also the fact that it is, to a degree, an accompaniment, right? It's an accessory like jewelry, right? Like earrings, like a necklace, having a nice pen. So you'll see, traditionally women would tend to have a nice metal pen, often made from a precious metal like silver or like gold. Okay. It's also like a man can use a pen like this. For some men who, for instance, don't keep a pen in their breast pocket, if you're keeping it in your trouser pocket alongside keys and things like that, a metal pen makes more sense. This pen, to me, I think would suit a woman's hand, simply because it's a relatively thin pen, and I don't know if it's just me, but I'm used to seeing a pen like this, in a lady's hand in particular. When I look at this, I think pearl necklace and a purse. All right, going through the pen. It is made of, I think, steel, or maybe aluminium steel, maybe, but it is exceptionally well made. And this is the thing about the Chinese. Their metal work is absolutely first rate, and it does show up. Like, sometimes you get minor faults in their pens with newer materials like acrylics. With the metals, they are always absolutely really well machined. They're like the Germans when it comes to machining metal goods. And this is particularly true of this pen. Everything about it is lovely. You may not be able to see, but this clip is spring-loaded. Can you see the top of it is moving like that? It has a very, very lovely mechanism. Now, it has a hooded nib, which you would see often in pens from the 1960s. My favorite everyday carry, the Lamy 2000, has a hooded nib, which just means that you can't see the full size of the nib that you normally would. It's actually occluded a little bit by the grip. There is nothing wrong with this. I quite like it, and people often quite like it because it does tend to mean that your pen is less inclined to leak if you roll it against something with the cap off. It is quite a small nib. It's a size 5. I don't like smaller nibs. I prefer larger nibs. It's just a matter of personal taste. The other interesting thing about this pen is it's got a filling mechanism that I've never seen before. Now, like most Oriental pens have a cartridge converter, okay, and this is a cartridge converter, but normally you have to twist them, okay, and it's a plunger that twists. You twist and it twists up and down. This one is different. It's actually a lever. Can you see this little lever here? To fill this pen, it's like a plunger. Like you push this all the way down. I might be able to do this without actually pushing any ink out. You put this into an ink bottle. Oh, I'm too scared to do it. Anyway, and push this little lever along and then pull it up and it sucks ink up into it. I've never seen a filling mechanism like this, but I actually do quite like it. All right. The other thing is about getting a pen that I didn't actually order is it didn't come with a nib that I like. Now, I prefer... I really do like to lay down some ink, right? So as fine as as I ever go myself is a medium. I prefer a medium at minimum. Typically, I'm satisfied writing with a broad nib or even broader because I like to write big and I like to lay down some ink so that I can enjoy the colors. Some people don't like that. Some people like to go fine, and they do go very fine. There's fine, extra, extra fine. This pen is a fine, and it is very much an Oriental fine. So it's a fine writer. And you can just see it doesn't really suit my handwriting. There's nothing wrong with a fine. It's really just not for me. The other thing I will say about this is that the nib on this pen does feel a little bit scratchy to me. Now, I'm not sure if that's because I'm just not used to really writing with a fine or if it is just not a very, very smooth nib. I did some research on it, and this pen is really a crowd favorite. Like a whole bunch of fountain pen enthusiasts around the world go on and on about how cool this pen is. So maybe it is just me because it doesn't particularly appeal to my taste, but there's a whole bunch of fountain pen enthusiasts out there who really do like it. All right, and I am seeing now that I'm just adjusting the angle that I'm writing on the page, and it is writing a lot smoother. So yeah, I think it's just my handwriting style is not suited to it. Okay, so this is the Jinhao 126, lovely metal pen. It's not for me. I'm going to give it away shortly to someone in the chat, but before that, I'll get on to the ink. Put that up so you can see it. Okay, the ink comes to us from Leipzig in Germany, and this is from Rohrer and Klingner. Now, Rohrer and Klingner are a couple of dudes. It was a dude, his son, and his son's mate. They were lithographers back in the 19th century, and about 80 lithographers, doing like, early sort of proto-photography type stuff and selling like the materials you'd use. I'm guessing things like mercury or what have you, so that you could do lithographs and stuff like that in the 1890s. In Leipzig in Germany. And shortly after they started doing that, they diversified into doing fountain pen supplies, and they make a wonderful, wonderful range of inks. I picked some up because they've got a green and gold that I really, really like. It's Golder Dämmerung or something like that. I can't remember what it is in German. And I've always really, really liked it, and I haven't had an awful lot of their inks. But this bottle is actually quite special to me because it must be about 12 months ago, I met the ladies from Lesbian Resistance for the first time. I met them in person. I went to Fielding, which is a small town in the Manawatu in New Zealand, to film them. These are two ladies from Lesbian Resistance who are gender critical, and every Friday they are out with the rain, sunshine, snow. Every Friday they are in the middle of this little town in the Manawatu called Fielding with their signs trying to educate the general public about the dangers of gender ideology. It is a thankless task, and I admire them a great deal. And I went along and I filmed them, and it was lovely, just lovely to spend time with a couple of very, very lovely ladies. And as a gift, they gave me 2 bottles of ink, including this absolutely lovely sepia. Now, I wouldn't normally buy a sepia ink, but I really love the color, other than the fact that this is special to me because it was a lovely gift from some lovely people. The sepia is not a color I would normally choose for myself, but I absolutely love it. And let me give you a little bit of a smear test for it. Hang on, I need a bit more than that. Oh gosh, I'm going to have to dip into the bottle. Okay. I hope you can see that. It is a proper sepia. It shades a little bit. It is just absolutely lovely. I'm just really, really pleased to have this particular color in my ink selection. And it is a shading ink, and the other great thing about it is these inks are really inexpensive. Like a 50ml bottle, I think this is 50ml, so the 50 or 60ml bottle of this is really inexpensive. Like some fountain pen inks, like I bought a bottle off Mont Blanc the other day, it was $75. This I think is $12 or $13, and they are absolutely wonderful. They're quick drying. You'll see this ink is already completely dry, and I laid down an awful lot of it. It's shading, it's lovely. You can get it really inexpensively, and it's often available at different art supply stores. All right, so this is the ink that I got from the lovely ladies of Lesbian Resistance. It is the Rohrer Klingner Sepia. It is wonderful and inexpensive, and here we have the Jinhao 126 metal pen, which I'm now going to give away. Guys, if you want to win this pen, please do type anything in the chat. Just type away blat so that there's comments in the chat, and I'm going to come back in a minute, close my eyes, click on something in the chat, and whoever I click on is going to win this pen. All right, guys, I'm going to play a little bit more music. I hope you found that as enjoyable to watch as I found to present. Here's some more tunes.